This is a warm-up section for a class that I call the spirals. So throughout the whole entire class, what we're looking for is not just a sense of twisting, but it's a sense of wrapping so that the energy comes from one side of the body, wraps around the outside of the rib cage, and flows, continues to flow. So a lot of things we're going to do are not about getting fixed into a pose, but kind of finding that spiral energy in the body, okay? And we'll just start with the warm-up for now. So coming into all fours, place the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And just take a moment to connect into the hands and allow yourself to really feel the finger pads connect, not just the heels of the hands. And then let's just warm up the connection from head all the way down to the tailbone. So first of all, just allowing the head to make a few circles, going from side to side, and just feel how that allows you to get into the shoulders, start to take a snaking action with the shoulders in, and noticing how that travels into the back, as well as down into the hips. So I'm just waking up that initial layer of fascia. I'm trying to get into the superficial fascia. And as you start playing around, start finding different shapes. A sense of rounding and arching, maybe a little bit of cat and cow. But use it as some time to just find an internal massage. Feeling what's going on in the shoulder joints, trying to get in there. Feeling what's going on in the hip joints, in the lower back. Just addressing where you are with the body today so that you notice if something's feeling a bit stiff or fragile, and you can move throughout the rest of the class accordingly. And just a few more breaths, still just discovering, playing with what you're feeling in the body, finding little nooks and crannies to stretch into. And then bring everything back to a neutral position. And so find some stability without anything being rigid. You always have the opportunity to shift weight and find mobility, right? Always want to make sure that nothing feels stuck or rigid. We're going to start big arm circles, leading with the right arm. So as you exhale, reach the right arm back towards your right heel and let the hips drop back as well. Inhaling up towards the ceiling, around, reaching towards the front of the room, and continuing. And a couple rounds in this direction. And try to get that sense that it's not just the arm and the shoulder making circles, it's the connection into the spine, into the back of the chest, all the way down into the hips. And then change directions, reaching forward, up and around a few times, and just noticing the difference. Also noticing the support mechanism of the left hand still being on the floor. And then on your next inhale, reaching all the way up to the ceiling, and as you exhale, arm thread the needle, sending the right arm and the right shoulder down towards the floor, right ear towards the floor. And shift the left hand a little bit further away from your face so that you can use it for leverage to start to open up the chest towards the side. Breathe into the back of the rib cage. So once again, remember, I'm not trying to get fixed in some kind of finite end result of a twist. I'm trying to feel that spiral from the legs, from the hips, through the back, the sense that the right side of the rib cage is wrapping around. And then as you exhale, place the left hand a little bit closer to the head. Unfold back up to all fours. As you do so, stretch the right leg back and away from you. Keep the right foot on the floor, and then swing it around, a little semicircle behind the left leg. Kick the heel away. Lift the chest forward as you exhale, and turn and look over your left shoulder. So you're looking at your right foot. A little bit of press into that right heel, so you can feel that through the right side of the body. On your next exhale, fold the right knee behind the left. Walk the hands around on that slight angle. And it's not about getting your hips down to your heels, it's just what I call a bow. And in this bow here, I'm just getting a little bit more into the outside of the hips, into the outside of the thigh, letting the head relax. A little pulsing here, like a little rippling through the spine, a little waving through the spine. Just releasing in the lower back. One more time there. And then inhale, bring the hips back up. Walk the hands back around towards the front of the mat and release the right leg. And we're going to do the whole thing on the left side. So leading with the left hand, reaching back towards the left heel, and then up and around. So once again, tune into the sensation of the arm movement connecting into what's happening across the back, across the waist, down into the hips. Try not to get rigid. Let the hips swing a little bit from side to side to accommodate that movement. And swapping directions, reaching it forward and back. And it doesn't matter how big of a circle you make with the arm. It's, once again, just being aware of the sensation as you're doing it. On your next inhale, reaching that left arm up as much as you can and then diving it through. So the left shoulder, the left ear goes to the floor. Once again, move the right hand a little bit further away from your face so you can press down with the right hand. Send the sit bones back, hug the navel gently in, and breathe into the back of the rib cage. And feel the left side of the rib cage starting to wrap around. The feet gently pushing down into the floor. And as you exhale, press the right hand down, unfold, back up to all fours, and stretch the left leg straight back behind you, keeping the toes on the floor, make a little semicircle, reaching it behind the right knee. Stretch the heel away, look over your right shoulder towards your left foot. Breathing into the left side of the waist and into the left side of the rib cage. One more breath there. And as you exhale, fold the left knee behind the right, walk the hands around on a slight angle. And as you exhale, round. And the hips are going towards the heels, but not quite. And then a little pulsing here, so you get a sense that you're waving through the spine. Releasing any tension at the same time, getting that nice internal massage in that connection from the lower back all the way down into the hips. All the way down to the outsides of the thighs. One more little wave there. And then as you inhale, lift the hips back up. Walk the hands back around towards the front of the mat. Release the left leg. And then as you exhale, sit back on your heels. Interlace the fingers. Push the palms away and reach straight up towards the ceiling. And from here, just make circles on the ceiling with the palms of your hands. Start off small and inquisitive. So really just, again, don't worry about what shapes you're making. What does it feel like? That's the question you need to keep asking yourself. Feeling it right from the shoulder sockets down into the rib cage. And thinking of your navel being an anchor for the movement. So I'm not just wiggling around like a noodle. I've got some control in the very center of the core. That sense that it's just holding my spine in a stable but mobile position. And a couple more circles around in each direction. Maybe a little rounding and arching. Once you start feeling your way into it, any shape is possible, right? You just explore the different options and see where they lead you. And then reaching everything back up to the ceiling, wrists lifting up. See if you can soften the shoulder blades a little bit more. Swallow deeply so that you relax in the throat, soften behind the eyes. And on your next exhale, release the hands down and come to rest in child's pose.